Thanks so very much everyone for joining today. I'm Annika Wilson. I'm the Manager of Graduate Recruitment or Early Careers Recruitment here at AECOM across Australia and New Zealand. And today I'm going to be presenting together with Matt, and Matt will introduce himself shortly. Hopefully you've already had the opportunity to join on the Q&A and hear from Cam and the other panelists as well. So you've probably got a little bit of a taste of what AECOM do. But before I get stuck into it, I'll hand over to Matt. Just trying to click through. Let's see. There we go. Over to you, Matt.
Kia ora, folks. I'm Matt Durrant, and I started in the Christchurch office for AECOM in February of 2020. A year, February 2021, sorry. So a year in now. Did my undergrad at Canterbury, Natural Resources is there. Tried a different couple of internships, an environmental one with the council, a transport one with a different consultancy. I quite enjoyed the water subjects at uni and decided I'd take that pathway. And as you can see, I sometimes hang out near water, even in my spare time. So originally from Hawke's Bay, but got sucked down to Christchurch to study and thought it was actually a pretty wicked place. And though it is cold, there's so much to do here. So I decided I'd stay here and work. Yeah, it's a cool team down here. We've got about 100. There's about 600 people New Zealand wide, about 100 down here in Christchurch. And so it's a good sized team that you've got the pros of the big company, a lot of resources, a lot of different people with technical skill sets. Plus, down here we've got a pretty small office, so the team, is close knit and get some interesting local projects. But then at the same time, while I'm doing construction monitoring of some water supply installation just out on the Port Hills, I'm also doing design work on a big alliance project over in Perth. So spend part of my day on site talking with contractors, working out solutions to problems they run into, which is just normally big rocks. And then I'm also having chats with people over in Perth and Brizzy who are working on this big roading infrastructure project, which is a bit of fun. So that's a little bit about me. I like the outdoors. I like water engineering. I'll chuck it back to you.
Thanks, Matt. I think you make a really good point. It's kind of, got the global reach, but with still having that sort of local vibe, which is a really nice combination. So yes, AECOM, we are a global organisation, and we're a large infrastructure consulting firm. So we have a really, really diverse group of employees, ranging from engineers to scientists, architects. We have planners, we have quantity surveyors, project managers, so really, really broad in regards to what we do. Basically, it's all about essentially improving our communities and our cities that we live in to make essentially making a better world and delivering a better world. We're structured into different end markets. So some of the key business areas that we work in include obviously water, as Matt sits in that team, the civil infrastructure team, so that hosts water and transportation. We have a large environmental business. We have energy or power, buildings and places. And then we have, lots of other key areas as well, such as project and program management. And a lot of our key business areas are private, but also supporting government across the board as well. So 50,000 employees worldwide across pretty much the whole world. We are very fortunate to to, I guess, be positioning ourselves to win some really great awards. So again, just focusing on the water specifically, as we've got Matt joining us today. So, #2 worldwide water design firm across the globe. We've been ranked as one of the most ethical companies for a number of years in a row. So some of the things that I guess, the organisation, AECOM, we put a lot of effort into ensuring that we're well positioned and doing the right thing across the globe. What drives us? So we have our key values that kind of really help shape who we are as an organisation, and there's different things that resonate to different people, and there's certainly a lot more than the 6 words on the screen here, but these are definitely key things for us. So safeguard is really about ensuring the safety of our employees and anyone that we interact with, so whether that's actually physically out on site, or it might be the mental well-being of our employees and things like that as well. That's kind of key for everything we do. Innovates, and I think from a student perspective, undergrads and grads bring a huge amount of innovation to our organisation, and it's probably why AECOM has been so consistently committed to bringing in large numbers of grads each year. So I think this year we're looking at about 220 graduates across the organisation, as in for the FY23 intake. And this year we've just taken around 200 graduates, really committed there, and that innovation that comes through is it makes a huge impact on our clients' solutions. So collaborate is massively important in consultancy. It's all about collaboration, whether it's within your own team, with a client, with a multidisciplinary team to work on a large scale project. We need to ensure that we're all working together, we're all focused in on the same priorities, and ensuring we're communicating that effectively. And then, of course, delivering what we say we're going to do. So delivery is, of course, paramount to everything we do in terms of actually delivering for the client, for the project, and setting ourselves up so that we can deliver again and win the same, not the same work, but work again from different clients. Sustain. So we've got a huge focus on sustainability. AECOM has set some really key goals around net zero emissions, working with different people in the supply chain to ensure that we're doing the right thing as a large global organisation. So that's really important. And thrive. So this is a really big one for us, has been for a while, but it's I guess stepped up a gear, really around that kind of equity, diversity, inclusion, wanting to ensure that everyone can bring their whole selves to work and feel obviously comfortable and set themselves up so that they can work most effectively for themselves and deliver for the teams. Everyone obviously has different commitments and different things that go on in your broader lives. So it's about how can we make it work well, and set you up for success. Again, talking about that, that equity, diversity, and inclusion, everyone has a part to play in regards to this. So not only from a recruitment perspective, but obviously once you're on board with us, ensuring that we're putting, consideration into this in so many different parts of what we're doing in the employee life cycle, and really ensuring we've got that warm, inclusive culture to enable us to deliver for our broad and diverse communities. The Growing Professional Skills program is our grad program. So we have a 2-year grad program. I think Cam touched on it a little bit in the Q&A. So we have lots of different parts to our program. It's kind of designed to be suitable for consultants. So it doesn't matter if you're an electrical engineer or a landscape architect or a GIS consultant. It's all about developing your skills as a consultant, delivering for our clients, and building up your behaviors, your written skills, your communication, your ability to work with different people and adjust your adjust your style effectively. So there's so many things that go into that. And there's mentoring. We have opportunity to join together as groups. As talked about, there's a really large cohort of grads that join each year. So one of the most fun things I personally feel for our grads is having the opportunity to be on the start of your career with so many other like-minded people. So whether that's someone in the same team or the same office, or more broadly, getting to know those people who might sit in a different office or might be in a different business area, and understanding what they do is really, really valuable. We also have a Connect committee in each of our offices. So that's for all of our early professionals. They organise loads of events. So some it's purely fun, it might be a pub quiz. Other things might be, getting involved in industry events, or sometimes we organise client events and things like that as well. So Matt, I might hand over to you at this point, just for any little insights you've got, obviously being part of the programme yourself.
My whole screen's just gone blank. But yeah, I could definitely speak to the mentoring and the Connect parts. They're probably two key highlights for me. Mentoring, so it's sort of like a bit of a Tinder situation in which a whole lot of graduates, and then there's a whole lot of people out there with experience who want to impart some wisdom, and you sort of match yourselves up. And I'm in a primarily technical role doing design work and construction management and that sort of thing. I wanted to be with a program manager. So I look towards someone in the PM team that does project management things. So we could sort of talk more soft skills. Ended up talking to this fella from Auckland, lovely guy called Jack, who were both into multi-sports. That was a good stepping stone. And sort of every month we meet up, have a chat. Sometimes I just happen to be up there, or he happens to be down here, and so we meet up in person. Might go for a run instead of having just a face-to-face chat. So I've really enjoyed that. It's been a good way to talk to someone with a bit more experience about how they've found early, professional life and switch from uni, how to manage working from home, which is a whole new concept to me, and I'm just sort of finding my way around it. And then the other thing that I really want to talk to is the Connect committee. So for anyone in their first 6 years in the industry, doesn't matter how old you are, if you start a bit later, you're more than welcome to be part of it. We hold, as was said, all sorts of events. As the chair for Christchurch, I love getting some social events sorted. We went out for a BYO last Friday to finally kick off the year, which was nice. But we also do sort of a bit more lighthearted stuff. We did a haiku competition for World Poetry Day and awarded a few prizes for that. Just a bit of a laugh. What else have we done? We do lunch and learn, so do a catered lunch and bring in an interesting speaker and let them present to all the early professionals about whatever their key projects are or interesting insights they've got. But yeah, the graduate program as a whole is a good way to bring together the graduates in the office and I suppose too the graduates around the different offices together. Yeah.
Thanks very much, Matt. Okay, so just a little bit now moving around, I guess, what the general undergraduate application journey might look like for AECOM, and I guess it's fairly similar for many organisations. So I'm hoping that many of you already have already put your application in for AECOM, so this won't be a surprise. Those who are looking for undergrad, your undergrad apps will be open in June, end of June 23rd. So this will be really hopefully helpful for you. So basically you'll apply to AECOM, you'll upload your resume, cover letter, transcript and so on. You'll then be invited to set yourself up on our partner assessment partner, which is Capfinity. So Capfinity will ask you to complete some application questions, and then you'll be invited to complete a situational or strengths-based assessment. If you're successful, you'll be invited to do a video interview, a one-way video interview, I should say, on most occasions. And if you need any reasonable adjustment, we can obviously help support you in that way, so we can adjust to a screening call if required. And then the final step in the journey is the assessment centre. In most instances, sometimes we will do a standard interview if necessary as well. So that's kind of just the overall process. In terms of, I guess, just a couple of little tips for your cover letter and resume. And look, honestly, a lot of this isn't rocket science, but I think sometimes it's just good to focus actually on the simple things that do make a big impact. So, if you have the opportunity to do a cover letter, I would recommend doing one. It just gives you a little bit more opportunity to highlight your passion for working for AECOM and the particular role that you're interested in and what you feel you can bring to the table. I would also, at the top of your resume, put a little brief paragraph on there, which is, I guess, a very short summary of cover letter, just in case the recruiter looks at that in the first instance. So, again, any key passion areas or things that you want to highlight around why you're suitable for this particular role, I would definitely put it up there. Personalize it to your role. So this is your opportunity to spend a little bit of time, looking at and thinking about why you actually want to work for this particular organisation. So, we definitely appreciate there's a lot of time taken in these processes, but it is worth it. It does clearly make a difference. Again, kind of just outlining why you want to apply, why you think you're suitable, and what can you bring to the table as well. Use your your advert or your knowledge about the organisation as a guide. So sometimes within the advert itself, it will say specifically what we're looking for, or for us, we've got an opportunities document that gives you a little bit of context for each of the teams. So refer to that, bring it into the resume and cover letter, and obviously simple things like being grammatically correct and making sure you're targeting the right organisation, which has come through a few times, putting the wrong organisation, which is less than ideal. How do you stand out? So I'm really conscious of the time, we're probably going to run out, but have you applied for internships? Have you got a scholarship? Do you do volunteer work? Are you involved in student society, extracurricular activities? Have you come along to an AECOM networking event like this one? All of those things will help you stand out. I don't know, Matt, when you applied, I know you'd already got a couple of internships to help you with your application. Were there any other things that you felt helped your own application when applying?
Yeah, I think one of the key ones was that AECOM came to the uni and had a chat, and I sort of mentioned Olivia, who's one of the structural engineers here, and said I had a chat to her and thought the job sounded cool and the whole workplace, and I think that was a help when I applied.
Yeah, fantastic. So those sorts of things really do make a difference, because not everyone does it. Not everyone makes those, little bits of effort. So it does help you stand out. Just quickly, so Capfinity is our provider that we use this year for our situational assessment centres. There's so much information on the internet. Literally, you can just quickly Google. There's whether it's Capfinity or other providers, there's plenty of demos that you can try, so you can have a bit of a look and see what it's like, what's it all about. There's our particular one that we've got set up. It's not timed, so I guess we tried to make it as open to everyone and try to remove a little bit of that extra pressure. So it takes away from that a little bit, and you can just focus in on the assessment itself. And we've tried to set up some real life examples of what you might actually come across at AECOM. So hopefully it's relevant. It gives you a little bit of insight into AECOM as well. And the next step in the Capfinity process, or in our process, is the one-way video interviews. And again, this can be a little bit daunting if you haven't done it before, but honestly, there's so much on there on the net. So just jump on, do a few demo ones, just get into your rhythm. Again, this, even though it might seem a little bit different, trying to be really passionate, talking into your computer. No, on the other end, there are people, they're reviewing, and we want to see that passion that you have. I guess there's all sorts of things, I guess, in terms of technology that is obviously convenient, both for you as an individual, not having to go anywhere. You find yourself a nice, comfortable space. Make sure you've got plenty of time. Make sure you're not being distracted. You've got quiet environments and you're comfortable. So you're setting yourself up for success. We covered those bits. Interviews and assessment centres themselves. So again, preparation is key. We want to know that who you're coming in to meet. We want to, go on to LinkedIn. Feel free to, if you've got the name of who you're going to meet, either for an interview or for an assessment centre. Feel free to have a little look and see, what that person's background is. It is your opportunity to try and build a relationship within a fairly short time frame. So, as much prior prep you can do is good. And look, remember, it's a two-way street. It's us assessing you as candidates, but it's also you assessing us as an employer. Do our values align? Do you feel like the culture is right for you? It's definitely a two-way street. So just remember that as well. It's just as much about you as it is for us. And we do want you to have fun. We want you to take away something from this experience. So of course the ideal scenario is that you land the job, but if you don't on this occasion, hopefully you've gained some really good experience throughout that can help you for other sessions, or even to come back and apply for AECOM later in your career. You've got a little bit more insight around what we do. Celebrating the fact that you've actually made it to the assessment centre or to the interview. Like, we do get a large number of applications, so give yourself a tap on the back. It is a huge accomplishment to get to this point in the process. So make sure you're kind of celebrating as you go through. Some of the things that we look for are listed out there. We do want you to be yourself. So I know obviously there's a lot of pressure to do all of these things in order to be prepared and so on, but at the end of the day, it is about you as an individual. Just bring your whole self to the interview. Obviously there's a few things as a consultancy that we do look for. So I've talked about a couple already, but the collaboration, the innovation, bring your curiosity. Like, that's one of the best things about being a consultant, and actually being able to ask the questions and understand. Well, obviously mean that it will lead to actually developing the answers to some complex solutions. Take ownership. Like, as graduates, you're definitely given, responsibility from day one, with the support of obviously the team around you. But it's definitely an opportunity for you to to kind of take that with two hands and run with it. And relationship builder. So key to, I think, many roles, but again, especially at a consulting organization, being able to work with many different types of people, whether it's an industry director with 25 years experience, or an undergraduate, or a admin assistant, client. It's all about being able to understand people and get the best out of people. So I'm sorry, I probably run out of time, and I've rushed through a little bit. As mentioned, our grad applications have actually already closed. Our team's busy reviewing, and we're getting prepped and ready to start organising our invitations for the assessment centres, which are on the first couple of weeks of May, and our undergrad apps are open 23rd of June. Feel free to snap the QR code there, which will take you through to Grad New Zealand, where you can put your expression of interest in. Matt, did you have any last words of wisdom, either around your journey or for anyone wanting to work for us?
Since the undergraduate applications open up soon, definitely get in there. I did an intern here, but we've just had an intern over this past summer, and she had a blast that she was allowed to, come on site and do a bit of design work, and better than the internships I had. So I'd recommend it. But yeah.
Thanks, Sam. We'll have to, sorry to interrupt, hate to do this, but we'll have to wrap up there. Gone quite a bit over, but appreciate the presentation nonetheless. It was very insightful.
Thank you so much for having us.
No dramas. Again, huge shout out to Annika.